Hi, good afternoon, and welcome back to the Facade Engineering and Management course. And today I'm going to discuss the lesson 2 of our course, the historical development of facade engineering. So we will discuss the ancient architecture to medieval architecture to modern up to the current contemporary architecture. So in this lesson we will learn the evolution of architectural facade and engineering and driving factor on how we engineer and design the facade design today. So without further ado, let's get started. So the facade of the building is the public face, embodying the aesthetic and cultural values of its era. So we have the ancient era, and then we have the contemporary, like what we said. And so ancient building, for example, is like such as the Roman amphitheater, typically featured grand symmetrical facade adorned with columns, friezes, and intricate carving. So this design emphasizes harmony, proportion, and the use of durable materials like stone and marble, reflecting the technology's capability and artistic priorities during their time. In contrast, modern building facades showcases advancement in materials and construction techniques and methods and productions and installations, as well as the evolving architectural philosophies. So the advent of steel, glass, and reinforced concrete has enabled architects to create sleek, minimalist exterior characterized by large and obstructed windows and innovative structural forms. So, for instance, the glass curtain walls of Hyder Aliyev Center of Zaha Hadid symbolizes the transparency and the connections between indoors and outdoor spaces, a departure from the solid, imposing fronts of ancient structures like what we have in Colosseum in Roman ancient time. So, in delving on the historical development of facade, let us discuss about the ancient and classical periods of building that deals with facade design and engineering. So, in ancient Egypt, for example, which is from 3100 to 30 BCE. So, in ancient Egypt, facade of monumental structures like temples and pyramids features elaborate carvings, hieroglyphics and symbolic motifs showcasing the grandeur and religious significance of the building. Uh, Hieroglyphics, for example, narrated stories of gods, pharaohs, and cosmic orders, while motifs like Anka and the scarab symbolize life and protection. So there is a meaning of these hieroglyphics and symbolic motifs. So the imposing and intricately decorated facade conveyed the power and divine connections of the pharaohs, reinforcing their authority and the cultural importance of the structure within Egyptian society. So basically, the design of their facade has the connections with political and cultural society of the Egyptians. So ancient Greek facade happens from 900 to 31 BCE. Basically, ancient Greek facade, characterized by their use of columns and pediments, exhibited a sense of harmony, balance, and proportions. Example here is the iconic Parthenos in Athens. So it includes the iconic Parthenos in Athens that designed the Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian columns, supported entablatures and regular pediments, often adorned with sculptural reliefs depicting mythological scenes. So this symmetry and attention to details not only enhance the visual appeal but also symbolizes the Greek philosophical ideals of orders and beauty. So leaving a lasting influence on Western architectural traditions. As you can see, most of the building right now in Western America has this kind of Doric or Corinthian column, which is supported by the entablatures. Another ancient facade that we have to consider as foundations of what we have today is the ancient Rome, which is from 753 BCE to 476 CE. So Roman facades emphasizes grandeur and power, with triumphal arches, ornate reliefs, and large-scale colonnades adorning public buildings such as the Colosseum and the Pantheon. So it showcases the large-scale colonnades, triumphant arches, and ornate reliefs. That these architectural elements conveyed the might and authority of Rome. So there is a meaning out there, which is intricate carving and statues depicting victories and deities. Triumphal arches also celebrated the military successes, while imposing the colonnades and grand entrances highlighted the importance of civic structure. So the facade impressive scale and detailed artistry not only demonstrate the Roman engineering advancement, but also reinforce the cultural and political dominance of the Roman Empire. The next development in facade happens during the medieval and Renaissance period. So in Gothic architectures, which is from 12th century to 16th century. So during the Gothic era, facades of cathedral and churches featured pointed arches, stained glass windows, and intricate stone tracery. The emphasis was on height, light, and verticality. So with examples like Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. So basically, the design of this Gothic architecture is notable for its focus on height and lights and vertical, exemplified by like what we said is the Notre Dame in Paris. So this style transcends mere structural function to evoke a divine aura. So the soaring spires and intricate detailing aiming to lift worshippers' spirit heavenwards, for example, like a luminous stained glass. So there is a meaning of this design, which something like spiritual for them. So the next period of architectures in facade happens on Renaissance architectures, happened between 14th century to 17th century. So these Renaissance architectures assert the revival of classical principles evident in facade, which is adorned with pilasters, pediments, and decorative ornamentations. So exemplified by these iconic structures like the Florence Cathedral and Palazzo Vecchio in Florence. So these buildings executed a harmonious balance of symmetry and proportions, which is inspired by ancient Roman and Greek architecture. So these Renaissance architects emphasized the rationality and humanism reflected in the meticulous arrangements of elements of their facade. So each architectural detail served to enhance the visual unity and elegance of the whole, embodying the Renaissance era's pursuit of beauty and order, and intellectual enlightenment as well through architectural excellence. The last historical development during the medieval and Renaissance period is the Baroque architecture, which is from 16th century to 18th century. So the Baroque facade were characterized by dramatic and theatrical elements, including curved forms, undulating facade, and elaborate ornamentations. Examples include the Palace of Versailles in France. So the aim was to evoke emotional responses and showcase the grandeur and power of the structure. So its facade displays rhythmic repetitions of column, pilasters, and sculptural decorations, all meticulously crafted to convey opulence and authority. So the use of extensive ornamentations, including statues and reliefs and intricate moldings, enhance its facade design. So after this event, the historical development of facade also takes place during the Industrial Revolutions, which happened from 19th century to 20th century. So the Industrial Revolution brought advancement in materials and construction techniques, so leading the rise of facade featuring cast iron, wrought iron, and large glass panels. So this allowed for more extensive use of windows and expansive facade as seen in the Crystal Palace in London. So the introduction of cast iron or wrought iron, the large panel, enables the architects to design facade with more extensive use of windows and expansive surfaces. So these materials allowed for greater structural strength and flexibility, leading to innovative and lighter design. So the example that we just mentioned is the Crystal Palace in London, which showcases the vast glass expanses and the iron framework, so creating the unprecedentedly airy and luminous structure. So this new approach to facade not only enhance aesthetic but also mark a significant departure from traditional, which is heavier masonry construction, to a lighter construction. And then after this revolutions on the industrial revolutions of facade and engineering and design in architectures, there is a modernist facade which embraces simplicity, clean lines, and functional aesthetic. This is prominent to some example of building like Bauhaus movements, which building like Bauhaus des Zoo and Fagus Factory in Germany. So the Bauhaus des Zoo features a minimalist facade with large and adorned windows that emphasize transparency and utility. As shown in the image, it's very simple, like a vertical facade and glazing and transom and frames. So there's no adornment on the windows and the glazing, unlike with the ancient facade. So similarly, the Fagus factories also employ a sleek design with continuous glass walls and a lack of superfluous ornamentation, of course. So focusing on the efficiency and clarity. So this design highlighted the modernist commitment to straightforward and purposely architectures in the facade. What happened next after the modernism is the postmodernism. So postmodern facade broke away from the modernist rigidity, embracing eclectic design, playful element, and historical references. Examples includes building like the AT&T, which is on the right, building, which is now the Sony Tower in New York City, and the Centre Pompidou in Paris. So the AT&T building, for example, which is now Sony Tower in New York, is designed by Philip Johnson. Exemplify this with a distinctive chipendale top and ornamental detailing that reinforce historic motif. The Centre Pompidou in Paris, on the other hand, was designed by Renzo Piano and Richard Rogers, further showcases postmodernism experimental nature. So it's inside-out design with exposed structural elements and vibrant colors coding, like what we have seen in the screen, the red and structural element, which is visible from outside, defies traditional architectural norms. After this modern architecture, we have this contemporary architecture, which happened from 1990 to present. So the facade of contemporary architecture serves as defining features, blending aesthetic, functionality, and sustainability, characterized by clean lines, innovative materials, and cutting-edge technologies. Contemporary facade prioritize both form and function. Materials like glass, steel, aluminum, and concrete are commonly used to create a sleek, minimalist exterior that often emphasize transparency and light. So one of the hallmark of contemporary facade is their dynamic interaction with the environment. Advanced glazing system, for instance, allow for maximum natural light while providing thermal insulations and reducing energy consumptions. Additionally, features such as louvers, shading devices, and green walls are integrated to enhance environmental performance that manage solar gain and improve occupant comforts. So some technological advancement happened during these contemporary architectures have also enabled the incorporations of smart system into facade. So this smart system in facade includes responsive elements that adjust to changing weather condition, enhancing both energy efficiency and the building adaptability. Aesthetic consideration also remain the paramount of the design, which is the designer often use the facade to create a distinct identity of the building through a unique geometric pattern, what we have there in the screen, and also the textures and the color schemes of the building facade. So, in conclusion, for this lesson, what we have about historical development in facade, we understand the primary differences between the ancient and modern facade, which lies in design, structure, and performances. We then realize that ancient facade, like those of Greek temples and Roman amphitheaters, emphasizes ornamental design, symmetry, and use of heavy but durable materials such as stone and marble. In contrast, the modern facade focuses on minimalism, transparency, and functionality, utilizing advanced materials like glass, steel, and reinforced concrete. Structurally, ancient facades were load bearings, while modern ones often employ curtain wall systems that are non-structural. They are non-load bearings. Performance-wise, modern facade integrates energy efficiency, climate control, and sustainability features, whereas ancient facade prioritize aesthetic and symbolic or political or cultural representations. So throughout history, facades have evolved in response to architectural, cultural, technological advancement, and human needs. So from the monumental structure of ancient civilization to the grand cathedral of the Middle Ages, and from the ornate facade of Baroque era to the sleek simplicity of modern designs, facade reflects the spirit and creativity of their time. So let us remember, it is important to understand from the designers and engineering point of view that historical development of facade help us to appreciate the diversity and significance of architectural styles and serve as a foundation for the practice of facade engineering in the present day.